Good morning. Welcome to Leadership Bits and Bytes. Again, this morning we have the opportunity to talk to another entrepreneur who is doing great things in our community. It is so fun to be able to introduce you to these guests because they care about leadership. They're learning and growing just like the rest of us, but we can learn so much from each other. And so today I'm really excited to introduce our guest, Kate Landis. She's with Farm Bureau. She's the founder and owner. And Kate, we're just so excited to have you here.
Thank you so much, Rhoda, for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you and your guests.
Well, you're welcome. So tell us, what is it like to be at Farm Bureau, and tell us a little bit about your day and week.
All right, yeah. So Farm Bureau, the Landis Agency, it's an insurance agency local here in West Michigan. And every day looks a little bit different. Our goal at our company is to really walk alongside our clients and our team to help empower people to make the decisions that are best for their family and protecting the assets and the things that matter most to them in their life. So our goal and our commitment to everyone that we meet is you're better off having a conversation with us, and whether you choose to work with us or not, you're going to be an educated consumer and make the right choices for you.
Oh, I love that, because for most of us, we don't understand insurance. And we know it's one of those things we need, but trying to actually decide, what do I need? When do I need it? How does it work? I'm sure you get a lot of questions like that.
I would say 90% of the clients that I meet with have never had a conversation about their insurance.
Wow.
And I believe that your insurance should be more than just a piece of paper in your glove box. So cool that if you get pulled over, you're okay. But I really want to make sure that on your worst day ever, I will be your best friend and not a terrible phone call that you're going to have to make.
Wow, that is such a great philosophy. How do you go about that process with people? Are there things that people should be thinking about or asking that maybe sometimes they don't even think to ask you?
Yeah, so a lot of, especially with like car insurance, for example, a lot of people are like, I have full coverage, and they only care about their car, right? And it is so much more than that. And it's my goal, and the question that everyone should be asking is my family going to be okay if something catastrophic happens? Because getting into a fender bender, most people can bounce back from that. It's those catastrophic losses that if no one's ever asking you, what does your family situation look like? What do your assets look like? What are we actually protecting? If all you care about is your car, then you're probably not covered properly.
That's amazing. I had not thought of it that way.
Most people don't.
But is so important to understand those components that could be so impacted. So I am interested in knowing more about, you have a team that works with you. What are some of the things that maybe you've encountered along the way that have helped you work really well together as a team?
Yeah, so the burden that our team carries is pretty heavy when you boil it down to what we're doing every day, because we are protecting more than just a tangible thing. And for our team to really be cohesive, when I started out and it was just me, I had this set of core values that mattered to me, but it was only me, it only impacted me. And the more that I've grown in my career, I realized it was very important to have a set of core values that the entire team actually bought into, because when your team is buying into your value stream, then they're going to be the ones that are making a difference for the clients, that it's not just me talking to people, but when they have those meaningful conversations, if they're aligned with our core values, then it just spreads out from there. And so that is something that I learned relatively early when I started building a team, is that if you don't know who you are, it's hard to hire more than just task doers, and to have longevity and have people that will truly take care of your clients. they have to be aligned with that vision and what are those values.
Mm-hmm. That is so true. I feel like, we oftentimes diminish the importance of values, or, it's on our website or something, but we don't really incorporate it in meaningful ways. And yet it should be the guide that determines how we make decisions and who we hire and those kinds of things. What would you say are some of the characteristics that have allowed you and others on your team to be successful?
Yeah, so empowerment, I really believe that if we are empowering one another, and that includes our clients too, if we're providing a way for knowledge and education, and I truly believe in failing up. If you are willing to take the risk and have an uncomfortable conversation, even if it goes south, you've already taken that first step into making something better. And if we can empower one another, and that includes my team empowering me too, right? It goes both ways. It's not just what am I doing for the team, it is what are we doing for the collective unit. And so it's, for me, empowering one another also goes into being 100% invested in everything that you do in life. When you are present with any organization, that's where your focus should be. When you are at home, you should be able to be 100% at home. When you are hanging out with your girlfriends, you should be 100% present and not thinking about the stack of stuff you left at work. And we can only do that if we are empowering each other to make decisions and take action versus just waiting for someone to tell us what to do. And then if we are invested in one another, we can empower one another, and then that transcends into the community. Our team is very committed to being engaged in that community. And so I want my team to find those things that they're passionate about, so that I can help them make a difference in those groups that they want to make a difference in.
That's great, and I know you're very involved as well. Tell us a little bit about what that looks like for you.
Yeah, so my husband doesn't like that I don't know the word no, or I tend to not use it often enough. But I really believe that by being involved in the different things that we're involved in, that is our way of giving back to the community, whether it's with our time or our money. A few different organizations that I'm a part of really go to supporting other business owners and what we can do to impact business owners. I grew up in the poorest county in the state of Michigan. It's in northern Michigan. So something that's always been important to me is how can I find ways to give back to people who are less fortunate than I have been, and I've been very blessed. And it all starts with people believing in their self-worth. So my goal in everything that I do is how can I make someone realize how valuable they are? And it's not just about giving something to a cause, but it is really about you matter. You matter so much that that's what's making the difference. It's having a meal, that's great. But the person that's receiving that meal, they need to know that just because I gave them a meal doesn't diminish who they are as a person. And that's really what my emphasis is when we say that we're a community-minded company. It's how do we improve the value that people feel about what they contribute to our community.
I so appreciate that emphasis, because here at Partners in Action, we really believe that no one's a number. Everyone is a valuable person, whether it's a candidate that we're interviewing, whether it's a client, and just really affirming that value that's essential and at core for every individual. So I really love hearing you express that. And I'm sure that comes through both to your clients and to your team members as well.
I will say that it's one of the hardest decisions as a business owner, and when we make decisions, because not everyone can be my client. And having that conversation and still giving that same level of service to someone who today might not be my client, but maybe in 5 years they are. And it all starts with having that mindset like you have here at Partners in Growth, like really believing that no one is just a number.
Yeah. What are some things that maybe you've learned along the way? Maybe one tip that you would share with someone who is newer to leadership and is, just kind of starting down that pathway, that maybe you wish you had known when you started?
Oh, that's a really good question. So if one thing people know about me, it's that it's very evident what I feel and think on situations. I tend not to shy away from difficult. However, sometimes in leadership, especially when you're leading a team, I totally believe in full transparency with my team and where we're going, what are our goals for the next year, but there's always a right way to roll that out.
Yes.
And sometimes, because I am very enthusiastic, and I have lots of urgency behind the way that I communicate, and it isn't always received well. And so one of the things that you do is the DISC profile. That is pivotal in helping leaders understand the best way to actually talk to their team. And what motivates Rhoda is not necessarily what's going to motivate Lisa. And learning as a leader to not expect people to engage with me and my leadership or my communication style, but actually engaging in their communication style.
Yes. That is essential, because so often I always talk about our style is kind of like breathing air. You don't think about how you're going to communicate, you just talk, you just do whatever it is you're doing, and you don't always recognize that you're creating stress for other people or conflict. And becoming more aware of that and understanding why something is stressful for someone else when it's not for you is really critical, and has been so helpful in my development as well. So I'm really appreciate that that's been helpful for you too.
Yeah. I've got a long way to go. I definitely have a lot to learn, but that's only going to improve what our team looks like in the future.
Talking about that, brings to mind the whole need for all of us to continue learning. I feel like the longer I am in business, the more I feel like I need to learn. And so I'm curious, what are some ways maybe that have been helpful to you in learning and growing as a leader?
Yeah, so there's so many different things. I'm a nerd. I love to read. I love to listen. So finding a really good podcast is important. Finding something that you can listen to in the car on the way to work. It doesn't take any time out of your day. It doesn't take you time away from your team, but gives you 15 minutes of knowledge. Even from an insurance standpoint, staying up to date on current trends in our industry. I have those podcasts that I listen to. Continuing education, no matter where you can find it. Being involved in organizations like we're both in that Forest Hills Business Association. Being in that group and providing those opportunities to have speakers come in helps give a different perspective on everything. And even though it might not be directly related to my business, having that mindset of what one nugget can I take away today?
Yes.
And I think good leaders are always looking for the nugget instead of the opposite, which would be what a waste of time, right? But always find one thing in every presentation you go to. The other thing I would say is that 72 hours of action. If you go to a seminar and you don't take action within 72 hours, you have just wasted a day at a seminar.
Right.
So really being critical on what are you investing your time in. I think a lot of people think that once you are a leader, the knowledge stops, the learning stops. And it's exactly like you said, Rhoda, you have more to learn now than you did when you started.
Absolutely. Yeah. Life and business business and client needs keep changing and evolving, and we need to do that along with them. And so just that intentionality about learning and keeping that as a priority is so important. As soon as we stop learning, we start falling behind.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
I just think that's critical.
I'm actually thinking about going back to school for my master's
Oh,
degree.
wonderful.
I have no idea if I'm going to do it yet, but Cornerstone has a really great leadership program that they're
Okay.
rolling out that's on a smartphone.
Oh,
100% curriculum on a smartphone. Who doesn't have 20 minutes a day
right.
to take a class that way?
Wow.
So, and it's all leadership.
Interesting.
Their master's program that's online right now is going to be that leadership,
right.
and good leaders want to be better leaders.
Yes.
So,
Yes. That's well said. I love that. Strong leaders want to be better leaders. And that should be one of the key priorities that as leaders we all have every year, not just occasionally, but a consistent priority if we're going to succeed. So,
yes.
well, Kate, I could talk a lot more, but I know you have other things to do in your day, but how, if people are interested in learning more about Farm Bureau and getting in touch with you, how could they do that?
Yeah, so the best way to get in touch with me would be to text me at 616-913-8853.
Wonderful. Well, I am so glad you joined us for another episode of Leadership Bits and Bytes. We hope that you'll join us again next month when we have another guest coming, and I'm sure there will be some more gold nuggets that will help you with your day. Thank you.